Hey fans, me Aaron, we're the Comic Show. This is the week of Action Comics 1000. We did a midnight release last night. That was cool. Blew through a bunch of them. Sold the poster that has like every single cover of all 1000 issues on it. And the issue was actually really heartfelt and touching. Like, I know some people make fun of me when I say this, but I teared up a few times. But it's not my fault. These stories were kind of purposely made for that. And when you have stories about hope and human decency and the goodness of the common man, and you're not really seeing that much reflected in media and like a lot of times in your daily life, especially not on the internet, it's touching. It's a little jarring. There's a story by Jeff Johns and Donner that is the car that Superman smashed on the cover of Action 1. That, you know, if you smash someone's car in the Depression, you pretty much screwed up their entire life. So, you know, maybe he should revisit that guy and talk to him a little bit, maybe fix that. There's a story with Snyder, with Lex and Superman's dynamic that was great. The first story with the Superman family by Jurgens was really good. And probably my favorite is a tie between Tom King's story that made me cry about Superman's parents and all that, and the story by Brad Meltzer that was just inspiring. I liked it. Bendis' story ends it, and it's a little different than all the other stories. It's hard to judge it the same way because all these other stories were little snippets, like 5-8 pages, in and out, tell a full, complete, emotional story, and then done. Where Bendis is like, all right, I'm going to start in the middle of action. There's this villain you don't know. He's kicking Superman's ass. He may or may not be responsible for the destruction of Krypton. Not a spoiler. We don't know yet. He's making some wild claims. And then it's like, hey, follow it in Man of Steel. So, yeah, follow it in Man of Steel. But this issue was actually commemorative. It's 80 pages, no ads. DC did it right. All these different covers of each decade, all open order. I had all of them. People could buy a whole set at cover price. It was fun. Awesome. Something DC did that was kind of annoying. Look how cool this cover is. It's their new like Virgin variant B cover program that, not full Virgin, like there's still like a barcode and the names of the characters and whatnot, logo, but it's more or less full art. And it's Jim Lee, and we did not know this as retailers when we ordered it 3 weeks ago. Personally, me, I went to Portland for Comics Pro to get all the extra information I could get from DC about, you know, how to order stuff in the future. I went to the Retailer Summit with DC and the rest of the publishers at Chicago 2 weeks ago. Not mentioned this. So if your store doesn't have it, it's not their fault. DC didn't give us the information. But you know, it looks awesome. If your store has it, grab it. We have some. Grab it. Mr. Miracle 8, ridiculous. This is such a ridiculously good book. I freaking love it. Did you guys see the name of Mr. Miracle's baby? Like, there's a baby on the cover of the last issue, so I'm not really spoiling anything, but the name was touching, pulled me out of the story, had to tell my wife. She was like, oh, that's cool. No, it's awesome. But anyway, Darkseid is and Orion isn't. I mean, that a big insult to Orion. But that book is great, and I'm loving DC. Moving on to Marvel, going down swinging, $7.99, Red Goblin, Carnage Green Goblin mashed together. Something happened at the end of this issue that is truly horrifying. And yes, going down swinging isn't just what's happening with the characters in the story, it's what's happening with Dan Slott. He's done a decade on Spider-Man. These are his last few stories. He's doing the big crescendo 800, then a single issue one and done 801, and he's moving on to Fantastic Four and Tony Stark Iron Man. So good things from him. This was great, a lot of hype around it, but it lives up to the hype. It is a solid story culminating in all these things, all these subplots, all these supporting characters, everything that Dan Slott's doing all together in a big crescendo. It's great. X-Men, Till Death Do Us Part, Will You Marry Me, Colossus, Kitty getting married. Doesn't happen in this issue, obviously. This is the first part one. So if you're excited about that, do it. I've always liked their relationship. That's cool. We'll see what happens. I'm skeptical about whether anyone actually gets married. We'll see. Like the Batman Catwoman wedding, I just see like Joker showing up and wrecking it, and then Catwoman gets cold feet, and hopefully they get married. It would be a lot of new and different stories after 80 years of those characters. Phoenix Resurrection, Trinity Jean Grey, got this Art Germ cover. It's all collected, and this writer, Rosenberg, is going to be taking over Astonishing X-Men. Moving on, Marvel Superhero Adventures. This is the all ages book, the book for kids, the book to read to your kids or your niece or nephew. I read it to my son. He loved it. It features Black Panther heavily. He's on the cover really small there. But it is basically a story of Black Panther and Spider-Man and Wakanda with Doc Ock. So if you have a little one in your life that liked Black Panther or liked Spider-Man, that's the book for them. And Marvel Universe magazine free has pages of all these new #1s that are coming, and I'm excited for a lot of them. So if you're not hype, get this, maybe you'll be hype. Moving on to indie books. This book might not be something everyone's pushing, but here in Florida, near Gatorland, we are. It's a 2-issue miniseries, X-Files, Florida Man. And every crazy news story of, you know, Florida man eats dude's face off, or Florida man attacks a McDonald's soft serve machine nude, or whatever crazy stuff, it's in here. And is it all the same guy? Is it all the same dude, or is it some type of curse or some type of cult of the Florida man? We will find out. We don't exactly find out this issue, but a lot of crazy shit happens, and it's all summed up in a 2-issue story. And yes, Gatorland is in here, so, you know, that's my reference. I'm from Florida, you know, like a lot of it takes place in Ocala. It's authentically Florida. It's not Disney World, it's dirty Florida, you know, with Florida Man. Moving on, Shattered Grid 26. 25 was a huge deal. Something nutty happened at the end of the issue. They didn't take it back this issue. It's intense. Shattered Grid is doing very well. It's getting a lot of Power Ranger fans excited, and that's a good thing. And finally, John Wick 2 is finally out. #1 came out months ago, and this story is the story of John Wick first becoming an assassin, like, and his first meetings with characters that we know from the movies. So this is him first setting foot in the Continental, first getting his first assignment. This is this story, and it's pretty good. I dig it. Moving on to Free Comic Book Day. That is Cinco de Comico, May 5th. We're going to be open all day, open early. We're going to have tons of sales, more free comics than ever before. There's some great ones like new Amazing Spider-Man, which is, like I said, Dan Slott's off. Nick Spencer, Ryan Ottley's on. That's Ottley from Invincible. That's out. We have Barrier, new comic by Brian K. Vaughan, who you know from Saga. Overwatch, I don't know what that is. No, I'm just kidding. Overwatch, the game, has a comic. Transformers Unicron, he's coming to, I guess, eat them all. And my guilty pleasure, Riverdale, as a comic. And if you're one of the first 50 people that come to our Free Comic Book Day, you'll get this tote bag thing backpack full of cool stuff, full of things that we're not giving out free to everyone, but we're giving out free to the first 50 people, like this Free Comic Book Day Hero Click of Planet Hulk from Ragnarok, an actual metal enamel Batman symbol pin, and some other goodies that I'm just going to load it up with. And this year, we're actually going to wristband people in line, so if anyone cuts in line, if they don't have a wristband, they don't get a bag. So, yeah, last year I was told after the fact that some comic fans are jerks. But anyway, thanks, guys. Hope you enjoy Action 1000. Read it with a box of tissues. Bye-bye.